Hello everyone and welcome back to Monsters of the Mind. As always, I'm your host, Mr.G. Death is one thing that everyone has to deal with eventually. Except for pretty much everyone in my show, since as cartoon characters we physically are unable to die unless we become forgotten by history. So, even if my creator dies, you guys will be having to deal with me for a long time. Aren't contingency plans awesome? Today we're talking about the most famous personification of death, the Grim Reaper. Grim Reaper means creepy reaper, and if you're wondering what a reaper is, they're basically people who use scythes. He was an individual. He was pretty neutral since the concept of death is a neutral thing that doesn't care how good or bad you were, how rich or poor you were. Death is something that happens to everyone. Now, obviously, since people die all over the world, he's all over the world, and he first appeared in European folklore. The Grim Reaper is almost always depicted as a skeleton with a black robe wielding a scythe. Now, I suppose one question you might have is, where did this idea come from? Why does the personification of death have a scythe, and why does he wear a cloak? Well, the cloak is easy. It's based on the clothes priests would wear at funerals or on someone's deathbed. But, as for the scythe, it's kind of a metaphor. You see, the Grim Reaper first started being depicted during the Black Plague when dead bodies were lining the sidewalks. So it's thought that the Reaper has a scythe because it was kind of a metaphor for how the virus could take out so many people at once. After all, what are scythes used for in farming? Hacking off many stems at once. Just like how during this time it can be said that death killed many people with a single swing. As for his stories, there's many disagreements as to what his job is, if he's good or evil, all that jazz. According to some stories, he's what causes death, while in other stories, he just appears to collect the souls of people who already died. The Grim Reaper has also been connected to the Angel of Death from the Bible, and is often shown as being one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, alongside pestilence, war, and famine. Although, since the Grim Reaper is a folk character, he doesn't have any stories. You know, things like that. Now, here's Vincent. The Grim Reaper hasn't really done anything in a while. He kind of retired a few hundred years ago. And I don't blame him. I mean, after all, having to always collect the souls of people when people die basically every second seems like it'd be tiring on the psyche after a while. So the Grim Reaper basically retired and he now lives in the deepest part of the swamp. He's a pretty chill guy. He keeps trying to find new careers outside of reaping people. He once started a rapping career where he was known as the Grim Rapper. Tried starting a late-night talk show, but he quickly realized there were no TVs in the land of myth. He tried becoming a chef, but that backfired because all of his food was deadly. Tried becoming a gardener, but all of his plants died. He still hasn't found his true calling in life yet. Or death. Well, whatever you call his state of being. Also, for some reason, he seems to have a lot of night terrors about something. Like, sometimes I hear him ranting about something he did that he shouldn't have. Like, apparently he once did something a long time ago that, to this day, he feels like he went too far or something. He refuses to tell anyone what it is, though. No one knows what exactly it is that he's so ashamed of, and he does not seem like the type who would give out any answers. Yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, we all have skeletons in our closet. Except for me. I have nothing to hide, and therefore I have nothing to fear. Oh, that is so adorable. You have no skeletons in your closet, do you now? Oh, that is cute. That is really cute. Anyway, let's look at the card. Grim Reaper's kind of a difficult character to mess up. I don't have much to say here. 10 out of 10, I guess. Now let's move on to pop culture. Now, the Grim Reaper is a very, very, very reoccurring figure in media, mostly because he makes a very convenient way to portray that someone has died or something like that. So, obviously, I wasn't able to find every single depiction of a Grim Reaper ever, but here's a handful of appearances. One of the most influential portrayals of death comes from the movie The Seventh Seal. The reason this is influential is because in this movie, death is shown having an appreciation for games like chess. And ever since then, as kind of a reference to this movie, the Grim Reaper will sometimes be shown as being fond for chess. Death appears in many Castlevania games, where he's shown as Dracula's right-hand man. Yes, in this universe, Count Dracula is apparently so powerful that the literal personification of death takes orders from him. That is... wow. There's the old Cartoon Network show, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, which is about two kids who end up having the Grim Reaper as their slave after they beat him in a limbo contest. It was a weird show. There's the cult classic PC game, Grim Fandango, which is a point-and-click game where you play as a Grim Reaper. This is one of those appearances where Grim Reapers are portrayed as being a job rather than the name of any singular entity. Grim Reapers appear in the Kid Icarus series, where once again they're a species. The Grim Reaper appears in the Sims franchise, where after you're done tormenting your Sims, he takes them to the afterlife. He's a recurring character on Family Guy. There are also some characters who seem to be based on him, but aren't explicitly him. Like Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol features the ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, who's almost a dead ringer for the Grim Reaper in appearance, but he's never explicitly called it, or has shown any hint that he is the Grim Reaper. There's also things like the Pokemon Dusknoir, or Death from the Twilight Zone, neither of whom match the appearance of the Grim Reaper, but they both play similar roles in bringing dead souls to the afterlife. That's all for this episode of Monsters of the Mind. And next time, you might want to grab a coat because things are gonna get chilly. Bye!